Good morning and welcome to our Hatha practice, hips, core, and shoulders. Kind of a lot to get in, but we do it. So let's just settle the sit bones down into whatever you're sitting on, the mat or the cushion. Place the palms down for grounding or up if you feel that you're ready to, take in energy. Grounding is nice at the beginning. Roll the shoulders back. As always, we'll take a few minutes to exhaust all the senses, arrive on the mat and set our intention. So let's first eliminate that dominant sense of vision by closing the eyes. Close the mouth and breathe through the nose only if that feels manageable. Listen as far as your ears can hear and in all directions. Being the witness to each sound that you land upon. Identify that sound without letting it distract you, and then move to the next sound. Continuing moving from sound to sound, slowly making your way in closer and closer to your mat. Arriving at the sound of your own breath and being the witness to that breath. Perhaps there is a difference between the sound of the inhalation and the sound of the exhalation. And now bring awareness to the temperature of the air on your skin, the places where your clothing contacts your skin, the contact points between your body and the earth, whether that be on the mat, on your cushion, the palms to the thighs. And notice if there are any smells in your space, experience them, and then letting them go. Bringing awareness to Chitta Kasha, which is the space behind the closed eyes. And considering what you would like to bring to the mat today. And maybe that quality that you would like to bring to the mat is a quality that you would like to take off the mat when the practice is complete. Find a word or a few words to describe this intention, repeating them to yourself mentally 3 times. You have just planted a seed of intention in both mind and body, and which the practice will nourish. Bring your awareness back to the breath. Follow the inhalation, follow the exhalation. And then deepen that inhalation by expanding through the belly, the side body, the rib cage. Retain the breath at the top of that inhalation for 3, 2, 1. And then active exhalation, pulling the navel toward the spine and the side body toward the center. Lengthening out that exhalation. And then retaining the breath at the bottom of the exhalation for 3, 2, 1. Returning to normal breathing and just following that breath. Keep the eyes closed or open them if that is your preference. Still with an awareness at the breath, let's link movement to breath. So inhale and find a nice arch through the spine, spinal extension. In yoga terms, seated cow. As the exhale arrives, start to round through the back, spinal flexion, maybe pull the navel to the spine to release the muscles in the back. And let's do that 2 more times. So inhale to find seated cow. Exhale to find seated cat. And again, one more time. Coming up to a neutral spine, release the hands from the thighs and place them on the floor in front of you. It might just be fingertips reaching to the floor. And then slide forward. Also, another option here is if you're up at the top of your mat where the blocks are, you could take the blocks and just put your hands on the blocks and walk them out. Slowly slide forward. See how far the back wants to release. Maybe even releasing the head to the floor, or maybe you're not going that far. And then inhale, come all the way back up again. Nice. Bring the hands back to the thighs. Take a moment, roll through the shoulders. And take the right hand over to the left thigh and that left hand behind the low back or to the floor behind you to just wake up through the spine in a nice twisting move. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale to the other side. And then coming back to center. Let's switch the positioning of the legs. So this kind of changes what's going on in the hips a little bit by making sure that we alternate sides. Palms come down again. Just stay with that breath for a moment and maybe close the eyes here because we're going to change the breathing with that cat and cow, which can be a little bit of a mental trick here. So inhale and round this time. So inhale on cat and exhale on cow. So finding that back extension. Inhale cat, exhale cow. Inhale cat, exhale cow. Inhale, return to a neutral spine, crown of the head reaching toward the ceiling. Bring the hands back in front of you again to the floor, maybe fingertips first, or maybe even hands on blocks if they're handy. And then slowly, as you exhale, sliding forward. Just be the witness to where your body will go and maybe notice a difference in the hips, given this alternate Sukhasana pose. And then inhale, slide all the way up. This time, take the left hand over to the right thigh first, right hand behind to the low back or the floor behind your tailbone. Bring yourself into an easy twist. Inhale to unwind. Exhale to do the same thing on the other side. And inhale to come back. Nice. Let's take the feet apart and then back together. So the soles of the feet are touching. Bring the hands to the shins, just above the ankles. Press the forearms in. Lift up through the crown of the head. Stay right here. When the exhale arrives, turn the whole of the head to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, turn the whole of the head to the left. Inhale back to center. Nice. Bring those knees together. Make your way to a tabletop position. If you're sitting on something, move it out of the way, but always it's handy to keep it close by. Hands are landing underneath the shoulders. Take a moment to just invite some water element into this tabletop. So maybe a slithery motion from side to side, or maybe you'd feel good doing that cow and cat again. And then find stillness here. Tuck the toes of the right foot and slide that foot back, staying connected with the earth. Push through that heel to wake up through the calf muscle. And then rock forward and back just very slightly, just making it a little bit dynamic. And then find stillness. Shoulders are stacked over the hands. Your right leg is still back. Lift that right leg straight up. Squeeze through the glutes. Check in that the right hip is still pushing toward the mat. And then bring that left arm forward and up, thumb pointing toward the ceiling. Inhale, lift arm and leg a little bit higher. Exhale to release down. Now tuck the toes on the left foot, slide it back, push through that heel to wake up through the calf muscle. Just take a breath or two right there. And then make it a little dynamic by rocking forward and back. Press through that heel, hold it, find stillness. Check in that the shoulders are stacked over the arms, and then lift up that left leg, squeeze through the glutes, but at the same time, push that left hip toward the mat to keep the pelvis level and parallel to the mat. Then inhale that right arm up, thumb pointing toward the ceiling, palm is facing toward the midline. Inhale to lift arm and leg a little bit higher. Exhale to release back down. Big toes touch, knees go wide, press back to a child's pose just for a moment, and then inhale, come up again, leaving the legs with the big toes touching and the knees wide. 2 more times. Exhale back to that child's pose. Inhale up to that variation of tabletop. And again. And now staying in this position, return to that tabletop with the knees underneath the hips. Walk the hands in closer to the knees, and then bring the body all the way up into a high kneel. Take the hands, fists maybe, or fingers up the back. Press into that low back, and then inhale, find cow in the upper body right here. So this is variation on camel pose, Ustrasana. Stay here for another inhale. Exhale, bring the body all the way up to that high kneel. Take the right hand over to the left waist and just do a little twist. Inhale to unwind. Exhale, left hand over to the right waist. And unwind. Nice. So again, let's do that. Inhale, find cow in the upper body. Push your hands into your low back or fists and feel that stretch maybe happening down the fronts of the legs there. Take another inhale here. Exhale, come all the way up. And again, left hand over to the right waist, little twist. So we're just switching up which one we did first, and then come back, right one over to the left waist, and then come back. Let's do that a third time. If you are comfortable with Ustrasana, with full form of it, tuck the toes here. Inhale, find that cow in the upper body. And then if you are familiar with this Ustrasana and would like to take the hands back to the heels, by all means, find that. And if you are doing that, push your hips forward in space and allow the head to release. Take another full deep breath here. And then whatever variation you're in, exhale to come all the way up to a neutral spine. Beautiful, little wake up for the front of the hips. So untuck the toes, navel to spine, bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Do that little slithery snake movement in the body, which is kind of a nice way to neutralize the spine after the back bend, although the twisting did that as well. And now find stillness. Move the hands just a little bit ahead of the shoulders, tuck the toes, and option to come up to downward facing dog now. Or you could stay in that tabletop position if you like. Release the head if you're in downward facing dog. Take another moment to walk out through the heels. Wake up through the calf muscles. And then find stillness, press the heels toward the mat. Walk the feet all the way up to the hands. Stay in this forward fold. Feel free to straighten the legs as much as is comfortable. You might want the hands to the shins. This is where you may want to use your blocks. Take another full inhale and exhale right here. Press the base of the big toes firmly into the mat. Imagine the feet are dragging away from each other. Reach for your strap, which hopefully is right there by your blocks. And then inhale, come all the way up. And bring both hands to the strap and slide that strap wide. Crown of the head reaching toward the ceiling. Keep your mind on that. And then slowly release the strap behind you till the strap comes level with the back of the shoulder. So I'll just face the camera right now for a moment. So here we are. Just take a moment to feel that in the shoulders. And then turn the palms so they're facing the ceiling. And maybe you'll feel the shoulders opening up even more. Little tiny movement up and down. Just keep breathing through this. Maybe close the eyes. Notice that feeling in the shoulders. And then find stillness. One more inhale here. And then exhale, release the arms slowly all the way down. And you can let that strap go off to the side, but keep it handy. We may be using it or later. The strap is always an option when we get to Natarajasana, which is kind of our peak pose today. So here we are at the top of our mat. Just take another moment to roll the shoulders back, turn the palms forward, and then turn the palms so that they're facing away from the body with the thumb facing back. And check in that your shoulder is externally rotating here. So sometimes it's tempting to actually turn it all the way the other way, which is an internal rotation of the shoulder. So we're turning the thumb away, away, away until finally it's pointing back. Just stay there for a moment and breathe into that. Open up through the shoulders and the chest. And then release the palms so they're facing the front. Inhale, circle the arms up overhead. Palms can touch. Gaze at the hands if that feels comfortable. Exhale, slide the hands down in front of the body and all the way down past the knees. Hands can come to the shins, the mat, or your blocks. Let the head release. Stay here for another inhale and exhale. And then inhale, step way back with the right foot. Lower that back knee. Reach the rib cage forward. Exhale to lift that knee up and push the heel back. Inhale to lower and bring the hands up to that left thigh. Exhale, move into the twist to the left. Use your right hand on that thigh to pull into that twist. And then inhale back with that left hand to the thigh again. Exhale to release the hands to the mat this time. Inhale, reach the rib cage forward. Exhale back to tabletop or downward facing dog. Now in this downward dog, experiment. Maybe your feet would feel better or your hips would feel better if your feet were wider apart. And likewise with your shoulders, they might feel better if your hands are farther apart. Inhale, lower both knees and find cow in the upper body. Meet us there if you're in tabletop. Exhale, slither forward, bending the elbows to slide forward. Take the hands wide. Inhale as you find this wide-handed cobra pose. Exhale, make a little twist to the right with that upper body. Inhale back to center. Exhale, little twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, lower the forehead and slide the hands into a position ready to press yourself back. Inhale, first come up to cobra pose. Exhale, back tabletop or downward facing dog. Take a full deep breath here and just maybe settle in. A little extra movement might feel good. Look to the top of the mat. Inhale, step forward, right foot. Lower the back knee, reach the rib cage forward. Exhale, lift that back knee up and push the heel. That's so helpful to really get a nice stretch through the front of that left hip. Inhale to lower and at the same time, bring the hands up to the right thigh. Exhale, twist to your right. Use that left hand to gently pull yourself on that thigh into the twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release the hands down. Inhale to reach the rib cage forward. That helps you to find that nice spinal extension. Exhale, step the back foot underneath the hip, forward fold. And inhale, circle all the way up. Palms touch, gaze at the palms if that feels good. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhale, lift all the way up to the balls of the feet. And then exhale to lower. Nice little balance challenge, wakes up the core. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Hands to the blocks if you prefer. Stay here for the extra inhale and exhale, just letting the backs of the legs release. And then inhale, step way back, left foot. Your hands can be on the blocks here. Lower the back knee, reach the rib cage forward. Exhale to lift that knee up and push the heel back. Inhale to lower and at the same time, bring the hands up to the right thigh. Exhale into that twist. Inhale, bring the hand back. Exhale, lower the hands to the mat this time. Inhale, reach the rib cage forward. Exhale, back to tabletop or downward facing dog. Play around, trust your own body, especially any messages coming from joints. Find stillness in this. Inhale, lower both knees. Find cow in the upper body. Exhale, bend the elbows, slither forward. Take the hands wide, and then bring the rib cage and head up into that cobra pose, wide-handed cobra. Exhale, little twist to the left first this time. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, little twist to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lower the forehead, slide the hands in a little bit closer so you're able to press back to down dog or tabletop. Inhale, first come up to cobra, and then exhale back to tabletop or down dog. Stay here for an extra breath. And then look to the top of the mat. Inhale, step forward, left foot, lower the back knee, reach the rib cage forward. Nice. Now exhale, lift that knee up, push the heel back. Inhale to lower. At the same time, bring the hands up to the thighs. Exhale into that twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, hands can go back to the blocks this time. Inhale, reach the rib cage forward or to the mat, your preference. Exhale, step that back foot in under the hip. And inhale, come all the way up. Palms to touch. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Beautiful. Let's stay here for just a moment. Again, inhale, lift up to the balls of the feet. Exhale to lower down. One more time through that variation on a classical sun salutation, just to really open up through the hips. So inhale, circle up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Hands can come to the blocks if you like. Inhale, step way back with the right leg, lower the knee. Exhale to lift that knee up and push the heel back. Inhale to lower at the same time, hands come up to the left thigh. Exhale, pull yourself gently into that twist. Inhale, release back. Exhale, lower the hands to the mat. Inhale, reach the rib cage forward. Exhale back, down dog or tabletop. Right away, we'll inhale, lower the knees, find cow in the upper body. Exhale, slither forward. Take the hands wide again. Exhale, little twist to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, little twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lower the forehead to the mat. And let's stay here for a moment. Extend the arms straight out to the side. So it's like your body is making this T formation. And then inhale, lift those straight arms up and the head and rib cage up. Exhale to lower. Again, inhale, head, rib cage, and arms up. Exhale to lower. Keep the forehead on the mat this time. Inhale, just lift the arms only. Lift as high as they'll go and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then exhale, release down. Slide the hands in closer to the position you need for tabletop or down dog. Inhale to cobra first, and then exhale back to tabletop or down dog. Inhale, step forward, right leg, lower the back knee, reach the rib cage forward. Exhale, lift the knee up, push the heel back. Inhale to lower, bring the hands up to the thighs. Exhale, move into the twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release the hands down. Inhale, reach the rib cage forward. Your hands could be on blocks here. Exhale, step into Uttanasana, the forward fold. Inhale, circle all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhale, lift up to the balls of the feet. Exhale to lower. Inhale, circle arms up. Exhale, fold. Hands go to the blocks there. Inhale, left foot steps way back. Lower the knee, reach the rib cage forward. Exhale, that knee lifts and the heel pushes. Inhale, the knee lowers, hands come to the right thigh. Again, exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lower the hands to the mat this time. Inhale, reach rib cage forward, shoulders are relaxed. Exhale, back tabletop or down dog. Inhale, lower the knees, find cow in the upper body if you were in down dog. Exhale, bend the elbows, slither forward, take the hands wide, find that wide-handed Bhujangasana. Exhale, little twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, little twist to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, forehead to the mat, stay there. Extend the arms straight out. And then inhale, forehead, ribcage, and arms. Exhale to lower. Again, inhale, forehead, head, ribcage, and arms. And lower. Keep the forehead on the mat. Inhale, lift the arms up as high as they'll go and squeeze the shoulder blades together at the same time. Exhale to release down and slide the hands into that position that you can push back in. Inhale to come up to cobra. Tuck the toes, exhale back, tabletop or down dog. Inhale, left foot steps forward, lower the back knee. Rib cage reaches forward. Exhale, lift that knee up, push the heel back. Inhale to lower, hands come up to the thigh. Exhale into the twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release the hands. Inhale, reach the rib cage forward. And then exhale, stepping in Uttanasana. And inhale, come all the way up, palms to touch. And exhale, hands to the heart center. Nice work. Working toward our Nada Rajasana right now. Lift all 10 toes and spread them really wide. And then release the toes down. Now, maybe that for Nada Rajasana, you'd like to have your strap handy. So the strap can be put around the foot. If you remember last week, we put it around the foot and we did a low lunge stretch. So similar idea, but maybe experiment first with just reaching with your hand before choosing that strap option. So just think of this as a time of play as we go into Natarajasana. All right, so I will actually face with my right side to you so that you can see. Shift the body weight to your left leg. Slide your right foot back and then flip so that just the big toe is touching there. Take a moment right here to find your balance. So find something to gaze at that's nice and steady. Release the right arm down by the side with the palm facing forward and the thumb pointing away from your body. So I'll just switch up there to mirror you. So you'd be like this. Nice. Here's the tricky part. As we go into this Natarajasana, we're going to try to open through the shoulder as much as we are the hip joint. So that hand is down, the turning the hand back. So the thumb is pointing back behind you. But the important thing is that the shoulder is really opening backward as well. It's actually possible for us to turn our hands all the way the other way with the thumb pointing back, but our shoulder is really going inward. So just check in. And then if you're having trouble figuring it out, start again in that Tadasana arm with the palm facing forward and slowly turn the thumb back as if there was a car going by you that you're trying to get a hitchhike ride from. And then once you're here, this is the fun part. Pull the arm as close as you can into the midline of the body. So it's turned and then we're pulling it in and then balancing over that left leg, bend that right knee and reach to the inside of your foot, or you could also grab the pant leg. And then once you have a hold of something, and if you really can't reach it, grab your strap and take a moment, just set up with the strap. Once you're here, bring the knees really close together and think tall through the spine. So we'll stay here for a few breaths just to let the tendons, the ligaments in the front of that hip release, because our body wants to protect those. They're super short and they tend toward injury, right? A lot of sports figures get groin injuries. So we'll just stay here for a moment with the knees together. Breathe into that. Find your tallest posture as possible. I'm switching back to that sideways view for you so that you can have a sense of where we are. Now, if you would like to go deeper into this, reach the rib cage forward, reach that left hand forward, and kick that foot back into your hand. And as you kick that foot back into your hand, give a little pull with the hand. So that resistance of foot to hand and hand to foot really helps you to stay balanced. And now, if you're here with me, if this is still feeling good, the left hand, the one that's reaching forward, turn it up to face the ceiling. And so the thumb is pointing away from the midline. And then just breathe with this. Take 3 more full breaths. Whatever kind of progression of this you have reached, stay with it and breathe. Visualize that opening of the right hip, opening of the right shoulder. We're actually opening up through the left shoulder a little bit now by turning that palm toward the ceiling. Take 1 more full deep breath. Stay with the balance. So stay braced through the abdominals as you slowly bring the knees back together. You could bring the hand to the heart center. Stay with this. Notice the difference maybe now from when you started, how it's feeling through the front of that hip. And then release that all the way down. Beautiful. Bring the hands to the heart center. Lift up on the balls of the feet. Challenge the balance for a moment. And then release down. Nice. We'll be doing that on the other side now. If you needed a strap, you probably will need a strap on the other side too. So I'll just change my positioning so that you can see that side. Shift the body weight to the right leg this time. Slide the left foot back and then flip it so it's just the toe touching. This is a way to sort of slowly change our base of support to challenge our balance. So feel rooted down through that right foot. And then release the left arm down into that Tadasana position. So palm is facing in front of you, thumb is pointing away from the body. And this is where we really want to take several moments to concentrate on finding that open shoulder in this variation of Natarajasana. So we start to slowly turn the hand away from the body, the thumb continuing to point back behind us. Feel that shoulder opening, okay, as opposed to turning inward. Find that opening. And then now that you've got that arm in position, pull it back toward the midline. And then when you're ready for it, feel the grounding through that right foot, bend that left leg and bring the hand to the inside of that foot or ankle, or reach for the pant leg, but keeping that hand still in that position of external rotation. Stay right here. Knees are pulling in toward each other, inner thighs are pulling in. Spine is really tall. Stay with this and just let your body have a few moments to settle into that stretch. Now we've kind of warmed it up, right? By going through those classical sun salutation variations. So hopefully it's feeling good right now. Stay with the breath. It's a funny thing, but that air and following the breath is actually a powerful anchor for us. Check in that your gaze is on something steady. And then if you would like to go deeper, start to reach the rib cage forward, kick the foot back. As you kick the foot back, the hand that's holding it is resisting, and that opposite arm can reach forward. Stay with this, keep breathing. If you can concentrate on it, turn the right hand to face the ceiling, thumb pointing away from the midline, and keep a lot of energy thinking about the foot to hand connection, keeping an energy between the two, pushing the foot and then resisting that push with the hand. Stay here for a couple more breaths. Stay with it. One more full deep breath. And then slowly start to come upright again. Bring the knees together. Bring the hands back to that heart center. Stay here for a moment and just notice if you feel a difference now in this standing position. And if you have stayed in this standing position the whole time, maybe try pulling the heel a little bit closer toward the glute. And then release that foot down. Hands to the heart center. Lift all the way up on the balls of the feet. And then release down. Beautiful. All right. If you've left the top of your mat for any reason, as I have, come back up to it. Inhale, circle all the way up. Exhale, fold halfway only. Separate the hands and bring them to the thighs. Inhale, find cow. And exhale, round to cat. Pull the navel to the spine. And then from here, inhale, find cow, but also bend the knees and the hips to find a variation of Uttanasana, chair pose, with your hands supporting you on your thighs. Now bring the hands to the heart center. Lay the left forearm on those thighs, and you might find you have to go a little deeper into Uttanasana, and gently pull into a twist toward the right. Stay there. If you're quite used to bringing hands at heart center and hooking one arm over, that's fine too. But I think a lot of times our body is more suited to this forearm variation. Stay here for another full deep breath. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale to unwind. Bring the hands back to the heart center. Exhale, lay the right forearm on the thigh and bring yourself into that twist. And again, you could hook that arm over if you want to. Notice how my body does that more forward fold. And sometimes our body actually would prefer to stay in that kind of cow position in the upper body, and using the forearm allows that. But of course, every body is different. So go with what feels good for you. But always be prepared to challenge what you think of as the right way to do something. Trust your own body. Inhale to unwind, bring the hands back to the heart center. Exhale to fold over the legs and bring the hands all the way to the mat. Release the head down. And then bend one or step back with one knee to the mat and then the other one. So you found tabletop position. Place the hands right underneath the shoulders, spread the fingers wide. And now step back with the right foot. Push that right heel back. Then step back with the left foot and push that heel back. You're now in plank. Stay in this plank. Imagine that your hands are dragging back and that your feet are dragging forward. Crown of the head reaches to that space ahead of you. Powerful. Manipura chakra. Yeah, works through the abdominals. Stay in this. Lift your right foot just an inch off the mat. And still imagine you're dragging the hands back and that left foot forward. And now lower that right foot back down to the mat. Lift the left foot just an inch off the mat so the hips barely move. Imagine hands dragging back, right foot dragging forward. Stay with it, and then lower. Take an inhale, lower the knees. Exhale, bend the elbows all the way down to the mat, forehead to the mat. Stay right here, forehead on the mat, hands beside your rib cage. Pull the elbows toward each other and backward toward your heels. Stay with that for a full deep breath. Just pulling the elbows in and back. One more full deep breath here. And then that next inhale, slide the forearms forward so that you are now in Sphinx pose. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. Tuck the right toes and then the left toes, and then lift up through the heels. Take a moment to walk the balls of the feet a little closer toward the elbows, crown of the head reaching forward. And now imagine the forearms pressing into the mat, dragging back, and the balls of the feet dragging forward. Feels good, doesn't it? Let's do the same sequence as we did from the higher plank. So lift the right foot off the mat and imagine the hands are dragging back toward the left foot and the left foot is dragging forward. Release that right foot down and now lift the left foot about an inch off the mat. And again, imagine you're dragging the forearms back and the right foot forward. Keep breathing, key, and then release down. And then inhale, lower the thighs to the mat. So untuck the toes, you're now in Sphinx pose. Exhale, lower the forehead to the mat. Find cactus arms. Take a moment to wiggle out through the hips and let the thighs feel equally connected to the mat. So each thigh kind of feels that same connection to the mat. Keep your forehead on the mat. Inhale, lift the arms up and squeeze the shoulder blades. And release. Let's do that 4 more times. So inhale, lift that cactus arms and squeeze and release. 3 more times. Work with your own breath. Inhale to lift and squeeze. Exhale to release. 2 more. And 1 more. Keep the arms in that cactus pose. And then press yourself up to a variation on Sphinx pose with those arms wider. Do a little twist to the right with the upper body here and a little twist to the left. And then come all the way back to center. Slide the hands back a little bit closer to the rib cage maybe, and pull the navel to the spine as you exhale, press back to child's pose. So again, big toes touch, knees go wide. Maybe reach for your cushion and place it right over the heels so that you can actually let your hips land on that cushion. If your hips already land on the heels, you won't need the cushion. But if there's always a space between your hips and your heels, it's really great to use that cushion. And then release the forehead down to the mat. And if the mat is a little far away, like if your forehead won't reach it, maybe stack the fists or reach for a block and place the block underneath your forehead so that your forehead has a place to rest and your hips have a place to rest. Stay here for 5 full breaths. And every exhale that arrives, visualize pulling the navel to the spine on that exhale. As you inhale, visualize expanding through the whole back of the body. By pulling that navel to the spine, it helps to release the muscles in the back, so helping you to find that fold. If you are able to find something for your forehead to rest rather than your stacked fists, then you could maybe wiggle your arms a little bit farther up the mat. Couple more breaths. Exhaling, navel to spine. 1 more full deep breath. And then option to either slither forward from here and make your way to Shavasana, or to press yourself up to a kneeling and then make your way onto your back. We'll all meet up in Shavasana. Actually, let's all meet up on our backs with the knees bent and the soles of the feet on the mat. Eventually, we'll make our way to Shavasana. But let's just take a moment there to just settle in and walk the shoulders away from the ears. Arms are maybe 45-degree angle from the body, so they're just not quite so closely in this Shavasana. And then bring the feet and the knees close together and just do an easy windshield wiper movement of those legs. Just invite a little bit of twisting into the spine. There was a lot of back bending in this practice, which is actually really fantastic for opening up through the fronts of the hips, opening up through the fronts of the shoulders, especially in that externally rotated arm position that we used. And you know, that Nadarajasana is so beautiful, right? Because we're opening up through the front of the hip, opening up through the front of the shoulder, and also working our balance. So working our core muscles to help keep balanced on one leg. Fantastic pose. It really works well if you've kind of set yourself up with some movement first to get into it, but it is a pose that your body probably would love to do several times in a week. All right, bring those knees back to center. Extend the legs out to find Shavasana. Always feel free to use whatever props are good in your body. Maybe slide the arms in a little bit closer, but still slightly separated from the body. And taking a moment again to reach the crown of the head to the space behind you, the shoulders away from the ears. Find stillness. And as you find this stillness, invite a heaviness into the whole body. Heaviness in both legs. Both arms are heavy. The back of your head is heavy. All the way down the spine is heavy. Your whole body is so heavy. Visualize so heavy that your muscles are melting off the bones. And then those bones dissolve into the earth. Bring your awareness to Chitta-Kasha, that space behind the closed eyes. And in that space, take a moment to be the witness to anything you may see there. And then return to the intention you set, the beginning of the practice. Repeat it to yourself mentally 3 times. If you can visualize it, you have started creating it. Bring an awareness to the eyebrow center. Visualize a tiny golden egg at that eyebrow center. Tiny like a mustard seed. Bring all of your awareness to that tiny golden egg. Be the witness to that tiny golden egg. If a thought enters the mind, remind yourself that you are not your thoughts. You are simply the witness. Let it go and bring your awareness back to that tiny golden egg. Bring your awareness now to your breath. And actively expand the belly, the side body, the rib cage. As you exhale, maybe invite an audible sigh into that exhale. And then bring an awareness to the body by wiggling fingers, toes, hands, feet. Maybe invite movement into the shoulders or the head. And then link breath to body, inhaling and taking a big stretch. Maybe spread the fingers and the toes as well. Invite every cell in your body into that stretch. And then exhale, bend the knees if they're not already bent. Relax through the arms and roll to one side, letting the head rest on that arm for a full deep breath. When you're ready, press yourself up to a seated position. Could be kneeling or into a chair, whatever would feel best for you. And as we complete the practice, let's let the hands rest with the palms up and take just another breath or two to close the eyes and visualize an abundance of compassion and ease pouring into those open palms, spreading to every cell in the body. And then bringing those palms together at the heart center in Anjali Mudra and sealing our practice with Namaste. Beautiful. Thank you for bringing your energy to our Hatha class today. I'll take a moment to see what goddess energy is with us. Una, easy does it. No need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. That is a good pandemic message. Just easy does it, right?